Bitter criticism, regular show. Woo! Regular Mursi. You're so regular, baby. Let's read some regular news. Yeah. Woo, 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 woo. Stupid. Mursi does like that. Woo, 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 woo. And here we go. Here we go. Regular news. Let's read some. I know because of YouTube headlines. YouTube headlines that Israel is destroying Lebanon, North Lebanon. But I will tell you exactly what is going on in Lebanon. Russia Today. Russian missile blows up Ukrainian ship unloading ammunition. Ministry of Defense video. Yeah, interesting. We have a nice video here. Medvedev calls for sinking of Great Britain. Interesting. I wish the worst for Great Britain as Natalia Urban died. Natalia Urban could do nothing there. October 6th, I guess it's today. Home, Russia and former Soviet Union. Medvedev calls for sinking of Great Britain. The former Russian president was commenting on skiing champion Elena Vialbes' suggestion to drop a bomb on London. What? Skiing champion Elena Vialbes. Skiing. Really? A Russian skiing champion. I thought they only play hockey and swimming arts, kind of this kind of artistic gymnastic, synchronized swimming. Anyway, Dmitry Medvedev, the deputy head of Russia's Security Council and former president, has suggested sinking Great Britain as a way to solve the country's problem with London. The former president was responding to a statement made last month by renowned Russian skiing champion Elena Vialbe. In an interview with News.ru outlet, the three-time Olympic champion and head of Russia's cross-country skiing federation, Tommy, mira. Oh, there's really a champion there. There's really a skiing champion, Elena Vialbes. She's 3 times champion. I guess 3-time Olympic champion. The 3-time Olympic champion and head of Russia's cross-country skiing federation slammed the West for banning the country's athletes from most international sports tournaments in response to the Ukraine conflict. Yeah. Oh, I'm kind of messy today. I'm kind of messy. Yeah, but I guess I'm fine now. Really on the ground. Look. Vialbe claimed that, quote, if we had dropped a serious bomb in the center of London, it will have all been over by now, and we will have been allowed everywhere. This girl is crazy. she's extremist. She's an extremist. But I don't care. I guess I will never go to Europe. I have zero chances of dying. So do it. I will read on Russia Today. Whatever happens, I will know from Russia Today. I don't have to go to London or United Kingdom to realize Natalia Urban was had a terrible life and suicide. She really suicide, unfortunately. Vialbe claimed that, quote, if I just read that Medvedev, who has become known for his sharp language, in social media and posts, argue that there are more effective ways to deal with problem than bombing. So this woman is even crazy than, I'm sorry, how to say it, is even stronger than Medvedev. Or aggressive, is even more aggressive than Medvedev. Medvedev, who has become known for his sharp language in social media. I just read it. Quote, our famous skier Elena Vialbe suggesting dropping a bomb on London. She's right. Suggest dropping a bomb on London. She's right, of course, but we need to solve the problem radically and just sink the damned island of Anglo-Saxon dogs, Medvedev said. He did not elaborate on whether the problem refers to sports or the state of Russia's relation with the UK in general. The UK and NATO have sided with Ukraine in its conflict with Russia, providing Kiev with financial and military aid and placing sanctions on Moscow. London was among 30 nations that urged the International Olympic Committee (IOC) to uphold a ban it had placed on Russia and Belarusian athletes when it proposed allowing them to compete in the Summer Olympics this year. Most Western-based sports bodies banned Russia and Belarus from taking part in international sports tournaments shortly after the outbreak of Ukraine conflict in 2022, including IOC, FIFA, FIDE, and others. Moscow has repeatedly criticized the restrictions. Of course, why the US never get banned. And now to be more fair, what the hell, the athletes give zero fuck about it. Athletes just don't care. It's just soccer. It's just Olympics. It's just athleticism that has nothing to do with nothing. Anyway, in her interview, Vialbe slammed the IOC, calling it a trash heap that is engaged in who knows what, but certainly not honest sport. Unquote. She added that while, quote, sport has always been tied with politics, unquote, the sweeping bans on athletes for political reasons no longer resemble sports at all. Yeah, people are not so fanatic nowadays, You have to know this Z generation, they just don't care about nothing, I have to agree, they are nihilists. They, at least right here in this, well, maybe all the youth are always like this, but in my opinion, Chilean young people, they are slaves. Chilean people in general, they are slaves, They have zero criticism. No criticism at all. And, well, there's nothing really interesting in Russia today. Russian missile blows up Ukrainian ship uploading ammunition. Minister of Defense of Russia said. I'm going to read this about the Kursk region. October 6th, Kiev lost over 20,000 soldiers in Russia's Kursk region. That's a lot, That's unbelievable. 20,000. The Ukrainian military has suffered 400 casualties in the past 24 hours alone, the defense ministry has said. Kiev's total losses from its incursion into Russia's Kursk region have surpassed 20,000, the defense ministry in Moscow said in its latest report on Sunday. Russian troops have continued their counteroffensive in the area while preventing more Ukrainian units from crossing into the region, it added. The Ukrainian military has lost around 200 soldiers over the past 24 hours alone. The defense ministry's report said several pieces of Ukrainian hardware were also destroyed in the last 24 hours, including an artillery system, 3 mortars, and 2 vehicles. While one Ukrainian soldier surrendered, the Russian military noted. The total number of Ukrainian soldiers killed in the fighting in the Russian border region has exceeded 20,800. The ministry claimed. Kiev has also lost over 130 tanks, 66 infantry fighting vehicles, and almost 100 armored personnel carriers during the operation, which was launched in early August, according to the Russian military's estimates. Over the past 24 hours, Russian forces also stopped 4 Ukrainian counterattacks within the region and 2 attempts to cross into Russian territory. Ukrainian officials have stated that the main goals of the attack were to sway public opinion in Russia and gain a better position for eventual peace talks with Moscow. Ukrainian troops made some initial progress in the early days of August, but were quickly contained. Russian troops have been gradually pushing the invading force away from the region ever since. Since the start of the incursion nearly 2 months ago, the Russian military has won back more than a dozen settlements. Moscow said it has not ruled out negotiations with Kiev, but that talks can only begin after all Ukrainian troops have left Russian territory. Earlier this week, the head of Russia's Federal Security Service, FSB, Alexander Bortnikov, stated that Ukraine's Kursk foray has failed, adding that the operation did not distract Moscow from its offensive in Donbass, where its troops have been steadily gaining ground since February. The Russian military has regularly published videos showing Ukrainian hardware, including Western supplied heavy armor, being destroyed as Russian territory is reclaimed. No, Tommy, stay there. We are not going anywhere. Boy, look my boy here. Boy. Oh. I was kidding. Fool. I guess there's no great news today on Russia Today. How the mighty have fallen. Greed and pandering could be dead. Could be the death of this video game titan. What? I don't care about video games. There's nothing really. There's an interesting news. Trump promises to reach Mars by 2028. October 6th. Home. World News. Russia Today. Trump promises to reach Mars by 2028. SpaceX owner Elon Musk has argued that government regulations are the main obstacle to exploring the cosmos. Donald Trump on the left embraces Elon Musk during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. October 5. Former US President Donald Trump has pledged to reach Mars before the end of his term in office. Should he defeat Vice President Kamala Harris next month, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk will lead the mission, Trump declared. Musk joined Trump for a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday evening. During the event, which took place at the site of Trump's attempted assassination in July, the 45th president issued a series of familiar campaign promises, vowing to close the U.S. southern border and end the Ukraine conflict and lower energy prices and inflation. Oh, that sounds really great from Chile, because the energy price here drive you crazy. As well as a pledge to reach the red planet before 2028. Quote, "We will lead the world in peace exploration," he told the audience. "We will reach Mars before the end of my term." That's very quick, Elon promised that he was going to do that. Trump continued before turning to Musk and asking, "I don't know, can you do that?" Trump is funny. Quote, we are gonna win, and he's gonna reach Mars by the end of our term, which is a big thing before China, before anybody. My money's on that. My money's on that guy, Musk. During his first term in office, Trump issued a series of space-related executive orders and policy directives. He asked NASA in 2017 with leading quote, "the return of humans to the moon for long-term exploration and utilization, followed by human missions to Mars and other destinations," unquote. And in 2019 established the US Space Force as the sixth branch of the country's military, leading opponents to accuse him of militarizing space. Musk, who endorsed Trump's campaign earlier this summer, has promised for years to make humanity a multiplanetary civilization. However, he blames excessive government regulation for delaying his planned colonization of Mars. Last month, Musk claimed that his reusable SpaceX Starship rocket will be ready for uncrewed flights to Mars within 2 years, and for manned flights 2 years later. After the Federal Aviation Administration denied SpaceX permission to test the rocket before November due to the environmental concerns, Musk took to his X platform to complain that, quote, "We will never get humanity to Mars if this continues," unquote. And quote again, "Unfortunately, we continue to be stuck in a reality where it takes longer to do the government paperwork to license a rocket launch than it does to design and build the actual hardware," unquote. SpaceX wrote in a statement that at the time, quote, "We should never happen. This should never happen, and directly threatens America's position as the leader in space." During his first term, Trump pushed the idea of cutting to government regulations for every new one enacted in if elected again. He has promised to go further, telling the New York Economic Club last month that he will, quote, "eliminate a minimum of 10 old regulations for every one regulation imposed." And that's it, I guess American politics is not interesting. I mean, these guys, Trump, Elon Musk, they just said bullshit, I'm not sure if America will be ever great. I guess China just won, and I just don't care. I want to go to China. That's the question. I only want to go to China. That's the truth about the world. China is more interesting than the US. The US is not that interesting anymore. I only want to go to China. I put all my money on China. I'm learning Chinese. And from Pepe Escobar Telegram, Syria submits official application to join BRICS. Syrian ambassador to Russia, Bashar Jaafari, on January 1st. The BRICS group grew from 5 founding members to 10. Many more applications are expected after the BRICS summit in Kazan in Russia after this month. I'm looking for an article. Just another post on Telegram. Geopolitics Live. Moscow former meeting opposes attempts by third parties to deploy military infrastructure in Afghanistan. Attempts by third countries to deploy military infrastructure in Afghanistan and neighboring states are unacceptable as they do not meet the interests of peace and stability. Participants of the Moscow format of consultation on Afghanistan said in a joint statement published by the Russian Foreign Ministry, quote, "During the meeting, the parties unanimously reaffirmed their support for Afghanistan's development as an independent, unified, and peaceful state. They express their readiness to assist Kabul in counter-terrorism and anti-drug efforts," the statement reads. On October 4th, the sixth meeting on the Moscow format of consultations on Afghanistan took place and was attended by special representatives and senior officials from Russia, India, Iran, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, China, Pakistan, Tajikistan, and all the stands, and Uzbekistan. Afghanistan's acting foreign minister Amir Khan Muttaqi participated as the main guest, according to the Russian Foreign Ministry. I want to read an article. from Pepe Telegram, Pepe. Where are the article? No, I know there's an article here. Look, strategic culture, news. They lie, they cheat, they steal, they bomb, and they spin. I don't know what this they spin. Strategic culture. Strategic Culture Foundation. They lie, they cheat, they steal, they bomb, and they spin. Pepe Escobar, October 4, 2 days ago, 2024. The Talmudic psychos not only obsess on breathing fire against the axis of resistance, but now are also going after Russian national interest. A case could be made that Iran's ballistic retaliation night, a measured response to Israel's serial provocations, is less consequential than it comes to the efficacy of the axis of resistance than the decapitation of Hezbollah's leadership. Still, the message was enough to send the Talmudic psychopathologicals into a frenzy. For all their hysterical denials and massive spin, iron toilet paper, and the arrow system were de facto rendered useless. The IRGC made it known that the volley of missiles was inaugurated by a single hypersonic Fatih-2, which took out the Arrow 3 air defense system's radar, capable of intercepting missiles in the atmosphere. And well-informed Iranian military sources stated that hackers went on heavy cyber attack mode to disrupt the Iron Dome system just before the start of the operation. The IRGC finally confirmed that just about 90% of the intent targets were hit. The implication was that each target was supposed to be visited by several missiles, with some getting intercepted. It's open to wide speculation how many F-35s and F-15s were ultimately destroyed or damaged on 2 air bases, one of which, Navetin in Negev, becoming literally inoperable. The Iran-Russian military intent, part of their soon-to-be signed comprehensive strategic partnership, was in effect. The IRGC used the recently supplied Russian electromagnetic jammer to blind Israel NATO GPS systems, including those of U.S. aircrafts. That explains the Iron Dome far off hitting the empty night skies. Subtitle: Framing Iran's retaliation as a casus belli. None of that sustainability changed the deterrence equation. Israel continues to bomb southern Beirut. The pattern remains the same. Whenever they are hit, the genocidals cry out in pain or whine like annoying babies, even as their killing machine keeps going, with unarmed civilians as privileged targets. The bombing never stops, and it won't, from Palestine to Lebanon and Syria across West Asia, and leading to the response to Iran's ballistic night. Iran is in an extremely tough geopolitical and military position, not to mention geoeconomic, still under a tsunami of sanctions. Obviously, the leadership in Tehran is fully aware of the trap being set by the Talmudic American Zionist combo, which want to lure Iran into a major war. Jake Sullivan, one of the stalwarts of the Biden combo, which is really dictating US policy on behalf of their sponsors, considering the pathetic condition of the zombie in the White House, all but spell it out. Quote, "We have made clear that there will be consequences, severe consequences for this attack, and we will work with Israel to make sure that's the case," unquote. Translation: Retaliation Night is being spun as a casus belli. US-Israel are already blaming Iran for the possibly incoming mega war in West Asia. The war is the holy of the holy since at least the Cheney regime days, 2 decades ago. And yet Tehran, if it's so decided, already has what it takes to raise Israel to the ground. They won't do it because the price to pay will be unbearable. Even if the Talmudic cycles and the Ziocons finally got their wish, a remote possibility, this war, after a devastating bombing campaign, could only be won with massive US boots on the ground. Whatever the spill ruling on Ziocon control, think tankland, media swarm, and that won't happen. And still the march of fully proceeds uninterrupted. The Zionist project, a US-Israel deadly embrace against Iran, but with a potent differential, the backup of Russia and further behind China. These three are the key BRICS triad. They are at the vanguard of trying to build a new, fair multinodal world. And not by accident, they happen to be the top 3 existential threats to the empire of chaos. Lies and plunder. With Project Ukraine going down the drain of history, as well as boring for good the rules-based international order in the black soil of Novorossiya, the real major front of the one war, the new incarnation of forever wars is Iran. In parallel, Moscow and Beijing fully realize that the more exceptionalist gets bogged down in West Asia, the more room of maneuver they have to accelerate the draining of the wobbly Leviathan. Subtitle: Gaza on the litany. Hezbollah has a seriously tough spell ahead. Resources, especially supply of weapons and military equipment to Syria and by air from Iran to Lebanon, will become increasingly scarce. Compare it to Israel's ultimate unlimited supply chain from exceptionalist, not to mention tons of money. Israel intel is far from shabby, as commandos went deep in secret into Hezbollah territory collecting info of the fortification network, when in fact if they reach populated areas in southern Lebanon, then it will be bombing the Mencia plus heavy artillery against residential areas. That operation might well be called Gaza on the litany. It will happen only if Hezbollah's complex network in southern Lebanon is cracked. A major if. Jeffrey Sachs, from all his good intentions, went as far as he could to characterize Israelis as Judeo supremacists, extremists, terrorists. Virtually the whole global majority is now aware of it. Israelis as Judeo supremacists, extremists, terrorists. What comes next in Talmudic Zion planning may include a ghastly false flag, possibly after the US presidential election, for instance on a NATO vessel or on US troops in the Persian Gulf, to lock up the new administration into the long-planned US war on Iran. Dick Cheney will have an orgasm and croak. The BRICS summit in Kazan under the Russian presidency is less than 3 weeks away, in sharp contrast to genocide and serial wars in West Asia. Putin and Xi will be standing by the open door on behalf of BRICS Plus, welcoming scores of nations that are fleeing the collective West like the plague. Russia is now fully behind Iran, and as much as in floundering Ukraine. That means Russia at war with the U.S.-Israel after all the Pentagon is directly shooting down Iranian missiles, while Israel is the US's de facto preeminent state, fully fiscally supported by U.S. taxpayers. It gets trickier by the minute. Immediately after a very important meeting between Alexander Lavrentiev, Putin's special envoy to Syria, and Ali Akbar Ahmadian, the Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, Tel Aviv went full dementia. What else? And target warehouses of Russian forces in Syria. There was a joint Russia-Syria air defense response. What that shows is the Talmudic cycles not only obsessed on breathing fire against the axis of resistance, but now also going after Russian national interests. This can get very ugly for them in a flash, and is yet one more illustration than the name of the new deadly game in the US-Israel versus Russia-Iran. The views of individual contributors do not necessarily represent those of Strategic Culture Foundation. Pepe Escobar, independent geopolitical analyst, writer, and journalist. Yeah. It's been 3 days now. I have to see what happened on Al Jazeera. I have to see Al Jazeera now to see what's really going on. I'm going to do a really quick genocide dossier now. People say that Israel bombs the northern Lebanon. So it's not the South Lebanon, understand? Just like that, Israel will bomb Turkey. They will reach Turkey. Anyway, live updates. Israel pounds Lebanon, killed dozens in Gaza. By Virginia Pietromarchi, October 6. Israel's army unleashed a new wave of attacks on the southern suburbs of Beirut, causing massive explosions with dozens of Lebanese killed and wounded over the past day. At least 9 Palestinian children are among 17 killed after the Israeli military ordered civilians to immediately flee northern Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp and began heavy heavy bombardment. 10 minutes ago now, Syria says Israeli airstrikes result in material damage. Syria's defense ministry said Israeli airstrikes that target its central region caused material damage. In a statement, the ministry said Israel attacked Syria from the direction of northern Lebanon, targeting a number of military sites. It did not provide more details. Israel has been carrying out strikes against Iran-linked targets in Syria for years, but it was ramped up such rate since last year's October 7 attack. And 21 minutes ago now, Lebanese army can enforce ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel. You know, I'm going to suspend this. I'm going to read CGTN about Russia, what they are talking about Russia, because I read something about Russia on Russia Today. It's not the same thing. Yeah, what about Russia on CGTN? Russia's 75th anniversary. Well, it's kind of 5 days ago. And says, politics. Russia holds exhibition to mark 75th anniversary of ties with China. CGTN, an exhibition titled, quote, Russia-China Friendship Through the Ages, kicked off at the State Museum of Political History of Russia in St. Petersburg on Tuesday. The exhibition dedicated to the 75th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries is open until February next year. So it's open right now. It offers a unique opportunity of trace the history of relations between the two countries. Many of the exhibits are being shown publicly for the first time. Representatives from both countries participated in the opening ceremony, including the Consul General of China in St. Petersburg, Liu Shanhui, officials of the government of St. Petersburg, historians and public figures. Speaking at the opening ceremony, the museum's director, General Sergei Rybakov, noted that the exhibits show how the two countries' friendship grew and strengthened, becoming an example of mutually beneficial cooperation for the rest of the world. Quote, the exhibition that opened shows that what role friendship plays in the relationship between our countries, both in the past and in the present, said Liu. The event also featured a symphonic concert performed by Russian and Chinese artists, along with workshops on Chinese calligraphy and dance. I guess China is, I guess Russian people, they love Chinese better than the contrary, understand? I guess Russian people, they need more, Russian people, they need the Chinese more than the contrary. Anyway, I'll try to do some yoga.
Palestinos cuyas ciudades no habían quedado en el acuerdo, que ellos tenían que parar de luchar y que debían olvidarse de volver a sus territorios, ¿no? En Chile pasó algo similar. Se hace una salida pactada. La salida pactada es entre los partidos de la concertación, entre los partidos de la dictadura, ¿no? Y entre Estados Unidos. Y se plantean tres pilares fundamentales: dejar intacto el modelo económico, darle impunidad a los crímenes de la dictadura y dejar afuera al partido que había sido más democrático, más institucional durante toda su historia, que era el Partido Comunista. Dejarlo fuera de este, entre comillas, retorno a la democracia, porque con los primeros dos pilares que el partido no iba a poder aceptar, se generaba la imposibilidad de participar de ese proceso. Bueno, finalmente en Palestina no llegó la paz, en Chile no llegó la alegría. Yo tenía una desconfianza brutal de aquellos que participaron del acuerdo de Oslo, y también había, hasta el día de hoy, ¿no?, una distancia con aquellos que firmaron el acuerdo de salir pactadamente de la dictadura, con la constitución de la dictadura, con el modelo de la dictadura, con la impunidad para los crímenes de la dictadura. Y había un solo partido en Chile que no estaba en esa tesis, que era el Partido Comunista de Chile. Y por lo tanto, desde mi perspectiva, no había otra alternativa. Había continuidad ideológica porque era un partido marxista-leninista, ¿no? Y también eran los únicos que no habían caído en estas dos trampas, ni en Palestina ni en Chile.
Antes de entrar en Recoleta, en tu experiencia como alcalde, una última pregunta. Llegas a Palestina por primera vez en tu vida con 42 años. ¿Qué recuerdas de esa experiencia?
Bueno, fue una experiencia verdaderamente devastadora. Yo había estudiado...
I'm done, I'm dead. My back is dead. I'm recording a short video, a short movie. Video movies, video mapping, cine mapping. I'm just waiting the 47 minutes to keep recording. I hope I can find some good scene like this. Maybe I will cut it off. I'll take off my audio, all stuff. I will only use the... Oh no.